rappers do this all the time. There's nothing wrong. Yeah, yes.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, Toby Lately Kanye, proud to the East himself, king of Southern Street 2Ls, the only boy who drinks his Fanta just like James Bond, shaken, not stirred. And welcome to the number one podcast in Eastern Cape. Salute. Or should I say, away.
Away.
Damn, bro.
Away.
Woo, today's different.
I want everybody to know that the guy who just did that lovely voiceover thing there, I saw him yesterday, couldn't talk, Couldn't speak one word.
Right?
Today, obviously, he's loaded all his English airtime again. And he's ready to rock and roll. Let's do this. This is your thing.
He was scared of you.
Yeah, once you guys walked in, I actually I look at Eb, right? Ebenezer, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not performing tonight.
Yeah. Nah, guys, but firstly, we have a very special guest today. First time on the podcast, we have Jason Goliath. Imagine how awkward it's been. I'm like, okay, we got Donovan. Hey, Jason.
It happens every day, bro.
Really?
People either call me Donovan, Nicholas, or David. Everybody calls me David. Like, it's at the point where if somebody shouts David in a mall, I find myself turning around.
Yeah, are you used to it, Galo?
It's terrible.
Damn, but this feels it's a very special moment for me, because, I love you in a non-weird way, obviously.
I appreciate that. Even if it was a weird way, I would have accepted your laugh.
It is in a weird way. But damn, could you please just bring us on your journey? Like, now everyone obviously knows the Jason Goliath that we see on TV all the time. We're watching you with our family. But could you tell us what it took for you to get here? What was the first step? When did you realize that you wanted to do comedy?
Oh, man, it's one of those stories that I always need more time. Because I think that's the trick, is that good things and the good dreams take time, and it's taken time. So I'm 40 years old now, still looking fresh. Now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There's no
You look like
filters.
you're younger
There's
than
no
me.
filters. Yeah.
That highlight is working.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is the no name items, name brand items. That's the thing. But so I'm 40 years old now.
Yeah.
And the way the numbers read is I've been doing comedy this year for 10 years. I celebrate my 10th year in stand-up comedy, which is great, both Nicholas and I. And I've been emceeing for 21 years.
Whoa.
And it's been, I think the main issue I have is when people, and this is this new kind of, social media generation, is it's so easy to see the end result and not see the work that went into the process. So, for me, it's I always encourage people that, listen, if you want it as bad as I want it, you'll do it for 20 years before anything happens, and be satisfied by the fact that you get to do it. So I started out as, I started emceeing by accident. I was working I was actually working for DSTV as a student, and they had I was doing this experiential marketing was a buzzword at the time. I'm talking about, this is like 2000, 2001. And what they had was this little trailer that we would take to different shopping malls to promote, decoders. And I found a microphone and nobody used it. And I just started playing around with the mic, Somebody offered me a job, and I was a retail announcer. I started in stores doing retail announcing. And all I knew was, I didn't know what I liked about it. I just knew that I liked maybe the opportunity for everybody to hear my voice. And my wife often tells me that, that's what I like. I like to talk and not like to listen. I like to be the one. You just listen to me and do what I say.
You got a nice voice, you can tell. You were made for it.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you. You're still flirting with me. I like it.
Okay, I'll stop.
No, don't stop. I'll take it. I'll take it. Men are allowed to flirt. My wedding ring doesn't vibrate. When women flirt, then it's a different story. So you carry on, have fun. But so the issue was, and I always kind of had this. I did a little bit of drama at school, but because of peer pressure, I dropped out of that and carried on playing rugby. And I always had, I always knew there was something. I would always tell my mom that I don't know how, I don't know why, but I'm going to be famous. That was it. When I was a kid, I was going to be famous. And it was fame, but it was more, I want to be rich. Yeah. And that was it. As a kid, all I wanted was, I wanted to be rich. If you asked me as a teenager, what do you want to be when you grow up? I would say rich. Then I didn't understand about how.
Yeah.
And then, because my mom worked for Mnet, I got to see a lot of celebrities as a young man. And I realized that a lot of these celebrities, they look nice. Like you see last number things, but they're all living in leaky city golfs and VW Beetles with smoke coming out the back, and some of them only had 3 wheels on. And then you realize, actually, there's no money in this thing. And I was like, no, I want the money. So I went into business. And I studied marketing. My chief marketing accolade was I was the youngest leveled marketing manager in mass mart history at the
Yes,
time.
sir.
In 2001. And then I opened an insurance brokerage after falling around in 2005. And in 2010, my business went under in the most spectacular fashion. I'm talking about like the great collapse, boiler room style, where all of a sudden there was nothing but debt. And I learned some incredibly hard lessons. The first lesson I learned is sometimes you can work hard, do what you think is the right thing, and still fail.
Wow.
And I think that's a devastating thing to sink in when you give everything. And I'm all about 110%. If I can't give you 110%, then I'd rather not do it. I'd rather do something that I want to give 110% to. And I gave my all and still failed. And in honesty, I was distraught on many levels. But I think mainly because I was so embarrassed, because I was the guy among my friends. I started making money while they were still studying. I started, I bought a nicer car then, and I was not balling out, but doing well very young when everybody else wasn't. And I was kind of this, in my friend circle, I was the guy who had his stuff together. I was the one that the parents encouraged them to go out to it. Can't you be more like Jason? You know what I mean? And all of a sudden everything was taken away. And when I say everything. I at the time of my worst, I remember reading a quote, and I never quoted Donald Trump, but there was a quote before he was president, when he was just a businessman. There was a quote in a book that made me think, and he said he walked out of a liquidation. His building had just been liquidated, and as he walked out, there was a beggar on the street, and he looked at the beggar and realized that the beggar is better off than him, because the beggar is at zero and he was at -1 billion at the time.
Wow.
And he said it was that realization that all of this thing, this material stuff, is all false. It's all lies. You know what I mean? There's nothing tangible about it when you understand it like that. And that's what I felt. I looked at so many people thinking, I wish I could get back to zero, because I had so much debt. My business partner kicked it out of the country. And if you understand the laws of severally and jointly liable, I was liable for everything. And I still go to court. I still deal with lawyers. 10 years later, and there was this great liquidation. The point of comedy was I was 30 years old, I'd lost everything, and then I thought to myself, listen, you got nothing to lose now, so why not try entertainment? So my mind went to acting and presenting, because I thought that that's something I could possibly do. Started going to auditions went very well. I started getting a lot of ads. And I got a big ad with one of my great friends, Siving Gesi. I got to say my best friend, because he'll phone me and say, but I'm not your best friend anymore. And Siv and I met on a big beer commercial years ago. And Siv said to me at the end of the 5-day shoot, he was just like, Yana, bra, you're so funny. You should do stand-up comedy.
Yes,
and my mind, I said to him, no, bra, I'm bra funny. Like, I'm funny with the Owens. I'm not funny on the stage. That's a different funny.
That's a different kind.
And then he gave me the best advice. And this is the advice that I want to give every entertainer that feels that they're passionate is, don't think about it like a job. He said, I'm not saying you must go and do it as a career, bro. I just think it's something you'll really enjoy as a hobby. So go and try it. And that's what I did. I had a chat with Nick. The next thing I knew, I was getting on stage. And the first time I tried it, I'd never felt that. I'd never even thought that amount of joy was possible for somebody to feel from doing a thing. And my brain went, oh my goodness, this was such a high, such a rush. I've got to work as hard as I can to do this as a hobby. I've got to work and do other things to be able to do this. And it was just that. Nick and I went straight in. We met Don about a week later. And we were just so in love, and are still so in love with stand-up comedy, that we gave it everything. And it felt like a hobby. And I can't explain it. Like, car guys will understand. It felt like I'm a car guy, and stand-up comedy and my car are in the same WhatsApp group. You know what I mean? They're in the same WhatsApp group. And that's the story. 10 years later, I am still as excited as I was 10 years ago. I can't believe my life, and the fact that, I always consider myself like at least 100 times luckier than a lottery winner, because I feel like that's the odds. The odds of getting to do the thing you love most for money, you're more likely to win the lottery. Which is a harsh thing to hear as an artist. Because that's the truth.
Because Nyanda, you're going against the world.
Yeah.
Now you're going against, everyone wants to do this, but not everyone has what it takes.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people come into it, and you said when you were a child, you'd be like, okay, I want to get rich. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But then when you came into comedy, it wasn't, okay, I want to get rich.
I'm so glad you pointed that out, because that's when it changed. So my sentence was always, success equals happiness. So money equals happiness. Now I realize the equal sign is bidirectional.
Yes,
So
sir.
because I made the sum, if I follow the happy, therefore happy must equal success. So now instead of chasing the money is a byproduct. The money's like, the money's the answer to the equation. The equation is happiness. Happiness is the equation. Money happens by mistake, I can't even explain it, as a result of doing the thing you do.
Yeah.
Not that's why you do the thing. It's a weird and wonderful thing. So happiness equals success instead of the other way
For you
around.
guys who don't understand maths,
Yeah.
he's saying 1 + 1 = 2.
Yes, sir.
2 is the money. It's not 1 + money = this. No.
100%.
Carry the 2, of course.
Carry-
you have
carry
to carry the
the
2.
You see now.
Yeah, but now you're confusing me now.
No, you see now. These are people that don't understand Pythagoras that are trying
Guys,
to. Yay.
I said, go to school, guys.
They think a hypotenuse swims there in a dam and it's the animal that kills most people.
Unless you're gonna love to see this.
Hypotenuse.
We're still talking about hypotenuse in the industry.
So when the maths teacher was like, you're going to need maths. Even in interviews, look,
He
You
knew,
see?
you need maths.
You
He knew
see?
I was gonna talk to Jason one
Come
day.
on.
And talk about the hypotenuse.
Come on.
But you're very big now. Like people hear Jason and they're like, Jason Goliath. That's the person you're interviewing. A lot of people couldn't believe. My cousin called me, not even to expose him. But my cousin called me and said, "Hey, you got Jason?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro." Like, and then he fanned out. Mind you, he's not even meeting you. He's the one fanning
Now
out.
that makes no sense to me. You know that you guys chatted with, and I don't know the sequence of this, and I hope I'm not messing it up, but you chatted with Nick and Don before me, and as both of them came out, they were like, these guys remind us of ourselves, because it's the fact that you love the thing you do so much that you are willing to give it everything. You know what I mean? I look at it like comedy is my child. I don't have children, but comedy is my child in the sense that I will sacrifice to be able to create and do the thing and make the thing healthier. Just like a mother would feed its child first. That's what I feel like. And I feel like your passion and the way you guys at Mandate are handling it is exactly the same, where it's passion first, it's excitement first, it's about owning those moments. And for us it's still so exciting. So it's like I understand why people say, hey, you're big now or your thing, because I do a lot of things. But for me it's like I do a lot of things because I've been trying to do a lot of things for a long time. And when you just keep trying to do a lot of things, eventually the things have to come. It's the way of the I think there's a mathematical term, but I'm not really good at math. I was just pretending. The law of averages. The law of averages. The law of averages says if you keep trying, eventually you're going to succeed. So just dollar what you must all day, every day,
sir.
and
Yes,
be
sir.
fed by the work.
So you come together with Nicholas, Donovan, and Kate.
Yeah.
And then you guys open your own comedy club.
Yes.
How does that feel? As comedians, being able to open up what the place that gave you guys a platform. Now you guys are able to do that for other people.
So look, we'd started running a lot of gigs. It started with our Wednesday, which was very small. And even from the first gig we ran, I mean, Nick and I had been doing comedy for 3 months when we decided we need to do our own gig. And that was just because I didn't see enough colored people in the audience. And then I was just like, hey, it's not that colored people don't like comedy. It's just that, we just don't know how to access it. So I was like, take the comedy to the people. And that's what our Wednesday was. It wasn't about the lineup being colored, but it was about allowing my people to experience the thing that I love so much in all its glory. So we brought everybody through. But I talk so much sometimes and I forget the question. So now you got to remind me. Maybe edit that part out. Just cut that part. Cut that part. Yeah, hey, Durag. Cut that part, Durag. There's a problem there. Durag, yeah, Durag can cut there. What is the question?
How does
Yes,
it
the
feel?
club.
Yeah.
So the reason I gave you the story was we started with small gigs, and at the point that we got an opportunity to open a club, we didn't just open a club. I was like, if we're going to do this thing, I want to open the best comedy club in the world. That was the ambition. Open the best comedy club in the world. And everybody was like, you're crazy. And I was like, watch. So we opened a comedy club in Melrose Arch, which is the most expensive business retail space on the continent of Africa.
Yes, sir.
We were like, we've been to comedy clubs around the world. Comedy always is like the forgotten stepchild. So it always ends up in a dingy basement because there's no money in comedy. And I was like, I don't need to make money. We'll make money from a restaurant. We'll find other vehicles to pay for the overhead. But I feel like comedy deserves this. And we also need to make a statement in South Africa that we've got some of the best comedy in the world. Our comedy is world class. So let's give them a world class space. And we collaborated with the owner of the venue. And went in and created this magical space. And essentially, I think about if you are the type of person like me, I've got to visualize, I've got to fantasize, I've got to dream, I've got to have the vision, and I've got to keep pushing myself. And Trevor Noah helped me to expand those dreams because Trevor's done things that we didn't even dream were possible.
Yeah.
And then when he does it, you go, oh, that thing is possible, and all of a sudden those things are in your dream. So I try to push it that hard, and then we created this space that was literally a dream. It was our favorite space. It was our favorite room in the country. We try to market it not so much as a business, but as a home for comedians, so that it was a hangout. So if you came to the club, not only would you enjoy a show of the best of the best that the country has to offer, and a lot of international acts as well, but you'd also meet every comic in the industry, because guys, if they weren't performing, they'd come hang out with other comedians, and it was almost like a space of fellowship. Like, comedians would come together and have the most wonderful conversations, and it was a dream. It was a dream and still is. What a great time we had, and everything has a season. And when we decided to sell the club, it made sense. It made financial sense. And also, it was possibly our guardian angel saying, listen, there's a thing called a pandemic on the way. And you see, these debit orders are not going to be safe.
Rona
So
is coming.
let it go. Let it go. And we did. We sold the main club at Melrose Arch to a company called Rodizio in 2019. Opened a smaller one, which we lost because of COVID, but it lost a lot less painful in Melville, which was the Melville Comedy Club. But I think that if those clubs don't inspire people to go, listen, whatever you want is possible, but understand that you've got a dollar.
Yes,
If you're going to wait, you're not going to get. It's not the world. Your dreams are not on Uber Eats. Go on Uber Eats. Go and check there. You can scroll. There's no restaurant serving your dreams.
Whoa.
Your dreams. There's no restaurant there where you sleep your dreams plus add a Coke. Yeah, you know what I mean? No, I don't need serviettes. There's no restaurant there with your dreams.
Yeah.
Your dreams are not going to be, delivered to you.
On a silver
So
platter.
it's like, I always quote DJ Spoo in his early days. I heard him in an interview say, the interviewer said to him, don't you feel embarrassed, Spoo? Because you still go to the church in the Kasi in Soweto, but you go in there with a Porsche now to that same old dusty church. And he was like, I go there because I want all of those people to see that we're the same. The difference between us is when they pray, they stay on their knees. When I say amen, I stand up and go and get the things I prayed for.
Whoa.
So get up and dala, man.
That's powerful. That's powerful. And for you now, you're on TV.
I mean,
You are on TV.
And DSTV also. There are people paying subscriptions for this face, guys.
They paid 300 a month to come watch you.
Search
come
that
on.
name, bro.
Come on,
Search that
to
name.
see cholesterol. Come on. We are there.
Hey, now you're on Celebrity Game Night.
Ah, my favorite show.
How? Your favorite?
It's
You're
my
on two
fa-
shows. I want you to know.
No,
You
Celebrity
can
Game
say-
Night is my favorite show.
You can say that.
I can say straight to the
can say
camera.
that.
Celebrity Game Night is my favorite show. To all the other shows I've done, you are all number 2, equally. Okay? Celebrity Game Night is number 1, but every other show, voiceover, every live, it's number 2. But Celebrity Game Night is my favorite show. I can't.
Bring us through that, and how does that happen? Because now you with celebrities all the time. You're playing games, guys. You're playing games on TV.
And drinking real alcohol. That's 10:30 in the morning. So when I leave home when we're shooting, I always tell my wife, baby, I'm going to drink and play games with my friends.
Is it in the morning?
So we shoot 2 episodes a day. We start shooting the first ep at about 10:30. And at 10:30, they give me my first rum and coke.
Yes,
Of
sir.
course, we are responsible. So there's a driver and a chauffeur to make sure, because there's a real... And, after the first week of the first episode, they were like, okay, maybe just 2 drinks per episode, Jason. You know what I mean? Just for consistency and control. Because you know what I mean? The second episode comes a bit rum and cokey, and we don't need that. I joke, but it's that fun. So the reason it's my favorite show is because I was a fan of the international format. And then when I got an opportunity to be on the show, it was the first time in a long time that I got butterflies. Because what happens is, when you do so much and when you experience so much, the novelty wears off. It's the same like, you buy a new pair of sneakers, they're great until another new pair comes out, and then this pair doesn't give you that kick anymore.
Kick
So
sneaker.
going for auditions and for jobs and stuff like that, it was, the butterflies didn't come, and then all of a sudden I had butterflies, and all of a sudden I wanted this thing, because I'm like a guy, and my friends will tell you, like, I'm very patient, and I believe that, everything that's meant for me is coming to me. So I'll go, give 1,000,000% in the audition, and then leave all the anxiety there. Because if it's meant for me, it's going to come for me. I can't carry that with me. I've got other things to go and Dala. I can't be waiting on one dream. I've got more dreams. You know what I mean? So I got more things to go and Dala. And then I'd be out. But for that one, I kind of had knots in my stomach. I was so nervous the day of the audition. I remember Roxy Berger was also auditioning. She didn't get it. Sorry, Roxy. Keep your head in the game, girl. Work hard. You're going to be fine. And Roxy, she's so lovely. She just said to me, I don't understand why you of all people are stressing. You got this. Go in there and be yourself. You got this. And that's the energy I went in with. I went in with the energy that I'm enough. I went in with the energy that, yes, this is international format, and yes, it's done by NBC, and yes, it's going to go on E! Entertainment, and yes, I mean, there's no men on that show, and if there are men, they have a six-pack on E! The whole channel is six-pack. I was the first guy with a size over 30 waist on the show, and I'm over 40, you know what I mean? So I was like, on the whole channel, I was like, the chances are not. And when I got it, it was amazing. I'm a huge fan of Aneles. I'd never worked with Ayanda. I'd been interviewed by her once or twice and really liked her vibe. But we've become great friends since the show, because that's the show's vibe. The show's vibe is, it feels exactly like, and if you've been to a games night with friends where things start a little bit calm, and then there's a moment where it's like somebody flips the switch where it's all right, let's get lit. Let's get lit. It feels like that every single show. Just feels like friends that haven't seen each other for a long time are coming together. They're coming to share stories. Everybody lets their guard down, and that's my job with my team, is just to get everybody to relax, forget about the cameras, and also forget about the persona that your publicist or PR agency has told you to have. Be yourself and Dala. Let's go. Get it.
And you've been able to do that very well. You are legit paid to be yourself. The same Jason that you guys are seeing here
As is.
Is the same one that you see on Celebrity Game Night.
As
and
is.
The man cave. I wanted to bring it up real quick because I always see you there. You're pushing cars, you're driving, you're loud, you're doing you were paid to be yourself.
Guy, I'm paid to be myself, and I'm paid to have fun.
Let's go.
If I'm not having fun, that means it's a debit order day. That means we are spending. If I'm having fun, that means no, we are sorging for the debit orders. We are making ourselves, and that's the weirdest part, is that when I'm working, I'm having the best time. My team know that. I love what I do. I come home from work happy. You know what I mean? I never, and that's why I just exist in a space of gratitude. I'm very conscious of how blessed and lucky I am.
Let's go.
And that's why I just don't want to waste it, because I'm now very conscious of the fact that, listen, I've got the pen to continue writing this story, which means I must be careful of the words I put down. And I can choose them. So now I'm just, constantly in the space of Thanksgiving, and constantly in the space of, well, let's make the story spectacular. The opening scenes is what you've seen so far, and it's been the makings of a great movie. But hey, the twists are coming. Ain't seen nothing yet. Let's go. Let's get it.
Hey, I see you just came back from vacation.
Maltese, but don't say vacation. It sounds like we went to Hardepeersport. We were in the Maldives. Google the Maldives. Google Maldives. Google. While you were working in the call center, I was where? Maldives. I'm a G-string, guys. G-string. Thank you very much. Okay, in my size, it's a G-rope. But I was there. Bottom line, I was there.
You just came from how is that experience for you?
Look, it was, so my wife and I decided not to have a big glitzy wedding 2 years ago, and we decided just to have a small little thing at the church, because we couldn't legally get married in the Maldives, and we had people at the church, and the way you got on that guest list, if you weren't my mother or one of the Goliaths, anybody who WhatsApped me in that week, I was like, hey, what are you doing on Tuesday? And then they were like, why? I'm getting married at 10 o'clock, pull through.
Really?
So we had like 50 people showed up at the church. We had a quick ceremony. It was beautiful. Because there was no kind of after party, everybody cried because they didn't want to save their emotions for speeches. It was quick. We cut a cake, and then straight to the airport. I booked a table at Wimpy. I said, whoever wants to join us, I'll buy you a burger for the reception. You know what I mean? And then we kicked it to the Maldives. And that experience was, my wife and I felt like Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yes,
It felt
sir.
like, it honestly felt like we're making a music video. And to celebrate our 2 years and just to celebrate, I think, surviving a pandemic. Because, we were very clear about survival will go down in the column of profit. So put your hopes and dreams on pause and survive. Because if you don't survive, your hopes and dreams are not valid anyway. So survive. When the sun comes out again, you initiate those hopes and dreams one more time. But you've got to be there when the sun rises. If you're not there when the sun rises, then, your hopes and dreams don't matter. So we wanted to celebrate that. We also wanted to celebrate our 2 years of marriage. And I'm just so wonderfully in love. I'm looking at her now. I'm just so wonderfully in love. And it was kind of like a second honeymoon. So we went back.
I heard you.
So we
kept
went
calling it
back. We had an
second
opportunity to go back. We went back. What a thing. What a thing.
Beautiful. And since you're a first-time guest, we have two very loved but for you, I'll say one because your wife is right here.
No, let's go. She's not scared. She's not scared. She knows who she married. She knows who she married. Plus two, contract till death do us part.
death
Words
do us
and jokes.
apart.
Words and jokes will not come between us.
Okay, we have two very loved segments. And the first segment on the show is called Risk It All. And I know your wife is sitting right here, but I'm going to look at you.
Okay, so literally, risk it all. Here we go.
You're risking it all right now.
You
But
okay?
She pulled her phone out. This is
It's,
documented.
here we go. I'm going to be reminded about this later.
Let's go.
Okay, here we go. Let's risk
And
it.
the first one is called, the reason we call it Risk It All,
Yeah.
if there was someone,
Yeah.
who would come knocking on your door, you would leave your wife.
See my wife.
You leave your wife for this one person.
Immediately. Okay.
You
No
could have a little
hesitation.
session, then
Okay.
leave. but
Okay.
she's gone.
Okay. Bill Gates. I believe he's single. I believe he's in the market. And I've always said, for a belly, I'll tickle him. I'll tickle him little bills. So, Bill Gates, holla at your boy.
Holla at your
Let me
boy.
tell you, don't worry about black. Once you go marker,
Yeah, you never go
my
back.
man.
Hey.
Yeah. So Bill, yeah.
Hit him up,
Bill, I taste like cocoa butter.
I
That's all
just
I'm gonna
like
say.
cocoa butter.
Bill, I know you're tired of that vanilla life.
Hey.
So if you wanna upgrade, I've got places that you can stash the cash. If you know what I mean.
Hey, that was one of the best answers we've ever gotten.
No, it's recently
For
single. You
Risk It
gotta get in
All.
quick, boy.
Yeah.
And my wife will understand.
Hey.
Bill Gates. Oh no, carry on, darling. Carry on.
Hey, listen. There's a nice private house in the mountains. We'll put you there. We'll put you there.
I'll get a sponsorship from Vaseline, Bill. I got you, boy. I got you.
Damn. And the second segment on the show is called Crumbs and No Crumbs. I'll
Okay.
take it for me, my brother.
Yes, sir. Of course, crumbs and no crumbs is.
Yes, sir.
If you're chilling and it's a very cold day, right? And you got your tea out,
Yeah.
and you're
Wife?
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you with your wife, shout
Nice.
out to
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Bill,
Are we?
if this gets to
Are
Or
we?
Bill, you know.
Or Bill.
And you and Bill are chilling, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, man, this deserves some biscuits.
Yes,
so you
sir.
pull out some biscuits.
Mm-hmm.
Do you put your biscuits in the tea, or do you eat the biscuit then drink?
Well, look, I'm a fat person, so I'm a professional. You're asking the right.
Yes, sir.
Is what I'm trying to say. So firstly, it depends on the biscuits. And if I'm with my wife knows what I like, so there'll be rusks.
Yes,
'Cause I'm a
sir.
rusker. I'm old school. You dip a rusk. You dip a Mari biscuit.
Yes.
You can dip a lemon cream.
Eh.
You can dip a Romani cream even. A chocolate chip biscuit.
Okay, we're being schools on this episode.
No,
okay.
hey, take notes. Take notes.
No out.
A chocolate chip biscuit, depending on the size of the biscuit. Okay, depending on the size. Please don't embarrass yourself with that mug and bean biscuit that's the size of a plate trying to dip that thing. People will know your lips are dry and you're not used to nice things. So don't embarrass yourself. The mug and bean guy, you got to break him in half before you start. Okay? You heat half dry to just enjoy the honesty of the baker.
my
You know what I mean?
gosh.
To taste that, the name brand sugars and honey and lacquer chocolate. The second one, you dip. Just to let people know I'm a risky person. I put it out there. You know what I mean? So on that one, you can go 50-50, but you also got to know your biscuit. Like an Oreo, I don't dunk.
You don't dunk.
I chow him straight. The whole thing in my mouth, I don't separate.
You go.
Close your
When
eyes.
The Oreo things is twist.
Nah.
When you go. Like
But,
I don't listen
but
to no
Bill,
effects.
Bill, if you enjoy the twisting and licking of Oreos, best believe I will lick an Oreo for you.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh,
I
man.
think that makes Jason a crumbs. He loves
Clearly.
crumbs because he tips. He
And
knows
no, you
what to tip and what not to tip.
You know what? Today I respect crumbs, man.
Come
I
on,
really do.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Because even me, I'd go to Bill Gates.
Listen,
Even me.
I've been crumbs my whole life, but I've never heard it explained like that.
Whoa, bro?
You-
I might just switch teams,
Right,
man.
you gotta know,
Break it
guys.
down. You tip
gotta-
this,
no, you
this,
gotta
this,
know.
and that.
Yo,
You
sir,
gotta,
man.
you gotta know yourself. And I'm also like, the nature of that question stems from our inability to accept other. Tala you. If you
It
want
is
to
so
derp,
deep.
derp. If you want to pour the tea onto the biscuit, I don't care how you eat your biscuit. The only thing I care about, was it lacquer? Was that thing nice? If that thing was nice, do you, boo-boo?
So whether you
do
have crumbs or no
you?
crumbs.
Why are you worried about what people think?
Let's go. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much
Yes,
for
sir.
coming on the
Yes,
show.
sir.
I wanna thank you guys so much because I don't think how inspiring you. I don't think you know how inspiring you are. You've inspired us and reminded us about where to find the excitement, what should be driving you. You know, it's so easy to get caught up in the bustle and the noise. But when you see people with let me just say, passion glows different. And I see it. You guys honk of passion.
Thank you so much.
Stink
Thank
of
you.
passion.
Appreciate.
We don't think of money. We think of passion.
Passion. Money will come by mistake.
If you love passion, we are here.
Yay.
If you love money, we stink and we glow. of
No,
passion.
no. Ladies, if you love money and you understand investments, you very quickly understand that that easy come, easy go. But if you build it nice and slow, it's there forever. These Owens, I'm gonna make loans from them in 10 years. Yeah. Money. Can you imagine how beautiful is in the when he goes to a proper barber?
Whoa, what day?
Wow.
When this guy,
And it just at the
I'm
same
telling you, beneath the dry shell you see before you is a diamond.
I'm glad I'm not on camera.
Is
right
a
now.
diamond. A little bit of there's a shine.
Yo,
Just below the surface, ladies.
Oh my
Trust
gosh,
me.
man.
I know things.
thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, guys.
hugely.
I'm wishing you nothing but the best, man. Thank you for having us.
Guys, definitely, man. This is the Mandate, #1 podcast in Eastern Cape. This is your boy, Tobing Lebaleti Libongo Kanye, product of the East himself, king of Southern Wall Street, who else? The only boy who drinks his Fanta just like James Bond. Shaken, not stirred.
You're listening to the Mandate with Jason Goliath. Mandate.
Yeah.
We're
Okay,
done.
I think I just
We're
messed it up,
done.
but no, it's
No, you
fine.
did.
We're done,
Fine.
bro.
That's